All right, let's go ahead and begin our 1-2-1 Day 2 notes. Within these notes, we're going to have two main examples, but before we can complete those examples, we need to practice unit conversions. So first example says convert 8.65 hours to minutes, and 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So what's inside that parentheses is really going to help us out here. First, we're going to write 8.65 hours, and we're going to multiply that by a fraction here. It's very important where you place your units within this fraction. For this example, we're going to put 60 minutes over 1 hour. When we do this, because there's an hours in the numerator and an hours in the denominator, these are going to cancel. And now we're just left with minutes, which is great because we're trying to convert from hours to minutes. Now we're going to multiply across. So we're going to take 8.65 times 60, and that's going to give us 519 minutes. Our next example, we're dealing with different units here. We're going to convert 90 inches to feet, and we should know that 12 inches equals 1 foot, because that's going to help us out in this practice problem as well. First thing, write 90 inches. We're going to multiply it by a fraction here. Again, it's important where you place your units within this fraction. Here, we're going to write 1 foot on top and 12 inches on bottom. And just like our last example where hours was in the numerator and the denominator and they canceled, inches is in the numerator and the denominator, so they're going to cancel out. Now we're going to multiply 90 times 1, because when multiplying fractions, you multiply straight across. So 90 times 1 is 90, and then 12 is going to remain in our denominator. Here we're going to take 90 divided by 12, and that's going to give us 7.5 feet. James earns $15 per hour as a teller at a bank. In 1 week, he pays 17% of his earnings in state and federal taxes. His take-home pay for the week is $460.65. How many hours did James work? We're first going to go through and highlight important information. $15 per hour, pays 17% of his earnings. His take-home pay for the week is $460.65. And we want to know how many hours did James work? So that's what we're trying to figure out. How many hours did James work? Since that's what we're trying to figure out, we're going to have H equal the number of hours. It talks about $15 per hour. So that's going to be the total money earned by James. And then he loses 17% of his earnings from taxes. So we're going to subtract our taxes here, which is going to equal our take-home pay. Total money earned is represented by the $15 per hour. So we're going to put 15H because we know H represents the number of hours and James earns $15 per hour. We're going to subtract that from our taxes. Our taxes are 17% of his earnings. So the first thing we need to do is we need to take 17% and convert that to a decimal. So we're going to drop the percent and we're going to move our decimal 2 places. So it's going to become 0.17. Now we don't just want to leave it just as 0.17 because this just means that you're taking 17 cents because of taxes. We need the 17% to affect his earnings. So we're going to multiply this by 15H. So we have total money earned minus our taxes equals our take-home pay, which is $460.65. Let's go ahead and solve this equation now. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 0.17 times 15h, and that's going to give us 2.55h. On the left side of my equation, because these are both h to the first power, we can combine these because they're like terms. So we're going to take 15 minus 2.55, which is 12.45h, and we're going to set that equal to 460.65. This is 12.45 times h equals 460.65. The inverse operation of multiplication is division. So in order to move 12.45 to the other side, we're going to have to divide by that on both sides. When we do that, they cancel on the left side, and we get h equals 460.65 divided by 12.45, and that gives us 37. We need to think back, what does h equal 37 mean? Well, h is the number of hours, so 37 is hours, and what this tells us is James needs to work 37 hours to get this take-home pay. Example 2. Brianna saved $600 to buy a new TV. If the TV she wants costs $1,800 and she saves $20 a week, how many years will it take her to buy the TV? Let's go ahead and go through this and highlight the important information. So she already has saved $600. If the TV she wants costs $1,800 and she saves $20 a week, how many years will it take her to buy the TV? So the question asks how many years will it take her to buy the TV, but she saves $20 a week. We're working with two different units here. So what we need to do is we need to solve for weeks first, and then we'll end up converting that to years. So we're going to have W equal the number of weeks. We know the TV cost $1,800. Brianna already has saved $600, and then she saves $20 a week. $20 every week. We're going to represent that as 20W. So we have our equation set up. What we're going to do now is we're going to solve for W. The first thing you want to do is move 600 to the other side. So in order to move 600 to the other side, you have to subtract 600 to both sides. That means on the left side, those will cancel out. We have 20W equals 1,800 minus 600 is going to give us 1,200. Now we have 20W equals 1,200. That is technically 20 times W. So the inverse operation of multiplication is division. So in order to get rid of 20, we need to divide by 20 on both sides. And we get W equals 60. Remember, W equals 60 represents the number of weeks. So this is 60 weeks that it takes to save to buy this TV. But the question asks, how many years will it take her to buy the TV? They want to know the number of years, not the number of weeks. So we're going to have to convert this just like we did with our unit conversion practice up top. So we're actually going to do this on the next slide. So we have 60 weeks. We're going to multiply this by a fraction here. The first thing we want to say is ask ourselves is how many weeks are in a year? In 1 year, there's around 52 weeks. So we're going to put 1 year, and then we're going to put 52 weeks in the denominator. And now because we have weeks in the numerator and the denominator, Those are going to cancel out. We're going to multiply across. 60 times 1 is going to give us 60. And then 52 is going to stay in the denominator. If we take 60 divided by 52, we're going to get 1.153, but we're just going to round it off at the hundredths place, so 1.15 years. We know it's years because that's our only unit left. So it's going to take about 1.15 years to save up for that TV.